Captain Eva Rostova was a salvage expert, not a taxi service. Her vessel, the Stubborn Hope, was a rugged, functional cutter built for wrestling wrecks from the ocean's grip, not for ferrying passengers. So when a man in an impeccably tailored suit appeared on her dock in Bergen, offering triple her usual day rate for a simple personal charter to a remote coordinate in the North Sea, her every instinct screamed at her to refuse. The money, however, screamed louder. It was enough to refit her aging winches and silence her creditors for a year. The client introduced himself as Mr. Albright. He was accompanied by a single, silent bodyguard and carried a single, heavy case made of matte black composite material. His manner was polite but firm, his eyes devoid of the nervous excitement most passengers showed. He was not here for the scenery. The terms were non-negotiable. No questions, no ship's log entry, absolute radio silence once they departed. Eva's engineer and only crew, a grizzled old Scotsman named Hamish, spat over the rail after reading the contract. "This reeks, Captain. This is the kind of money you pay when you don't want witnesses." But Eva signed. The Stubborn Hope sailed at dawn, pushing north into the choppy, gray waters. Albright kept to his cabin, the case handcuffed to his wrist. The silence on board was heavier than the sea fog that clung to them. Hamish, ever vigilant, reported strange things. A low, consistent hum emanating from Albright's cabin, even when the ship's systems were quiet. A faint, coppery smell that the salt air couldn't mask. And the birds, seagulls, would approach the ship, only to bank away sharply as if hitting an invisible wall. On the second evening, the storm hit. It was not a natural storm. The barometer didn't drop. It spun. The clouds swirled in a sickly, green-tinged vortex directly above them. The waves didn't just grow. They became sharp and pyramidal, slamming into the hull with unnatural force. As Eva fought the wheel, Albright emerged from his cabin. His composure finally cracked. He wasn't afraid of the storm. He was furious. "They found us," he hissed, staring at the chaotic sky. The Stubborn Hope was being hunted. A ship emerged from the squall. It was long, lean, and gray, a military-grade interceptor with no markings. It closed in with terrifying speed, a water cannon mounted on its bow blasting a high-pressure stream that could shred their superstructure. This was no pirate raid. This was an assassination run. Eva realized Hamish had been right. They weren't being paid for transport. They were being paid to be disposable camouflage. "Hamish, get us out of here," Eva yelled, throwing the engine to full emergency power. The old cutter shuddered, but responded, ducking and weaving through the unnatural waves. Albright, his face a mask of cold determination, unlocked his case. Inside, cushioned in black foam, was not a weapon, but a device. It was a smooth, ovoid stone, the color of old ivory, covered in intricate, swirling patterns that seemed to move in the dim light. It was the source of the hum, the coppery smell, the storm. "It's a key," Albright shouted over the wind and the roar of the pursuing ship's engine. "It's suppressing their systems, but not for long. We have to get to the Rendezvous point." Eva's mind raced. This was beyond salvage. This was a war she had no part in. But the man had turned her ship and her crew into a target. Rage, cold and clear, replaced her fear. She wasn't a pawn. She was a captain. "Hamish," she barked into the intercom. "Forget the winches. Reroute all auxiliary power to the bow thrusters. We're not running. We're turning." While the interceptor closed for another pass, Eva executed a maneuver she'd only ever used to position herself on a wreck. She cut the main engine and fired the bow thrusters at full power. The stubborn Hope spun on her axis with shocking agility, presenting her heavily reinforced stern to the interceptor. The enemy ship, caught off guard, overshot. In that crucial moment, as it slid past their port side, Hamish, acting on pure instinct, unleashed the deck-mounted fire hose, blasting a solid jet of water across the interceptor's bridge windows. It was a temporary blindness, but it was enough. Eva slammed the engines back to full, aiming not away, but directly for the coordinates Albright had given her. They didn't need to win the fight, they just needed to finish the run. They reached the point, a patch of eerily calm water within the storm. Albright, holding the ovoid device, stood at the rail. The patterns on its surface glowed with a fierce, white light. The sea before them didn't part. It simply solidified. A platform of what looked like solidified mist rose from the depths. A vessel, unlike any ever seen, broke the surface, silent, seamless, and utterly alien. Albright turned to Eva, his expression unreadable. "The balance has been held. You have my gratitude." He stepped onto the platform, which then descended back into the sea, vanishing without a trace. The storm ceased instantly. The strange interceptor was gone. The return voyage to Bergen was made in a profound, heavy silence. The money was in her account, as promised. She could refit the stubborn Hope 10 times over. Hamish never spoke of it again. Weeks later, sitting in a quiet dockside bar, Eva stared at the horizon. She had thought she understood the sea. She knew its storms, its wrecks, its tangible dangers. Now, she knew it held deeper, darker currents, currents of secrets and silent wars fought just beyond the edge of human perception. A man had paid her to be a disposable cog, and she had instead become an unexpected player. She took a long drink, the memory of the humming stone and the silent alien ship etched into her mind forever. The sea was vast, and she had just discovered that her corner of it was infinitely smaller and infinitely more dangerous than she had ever imagined.